These guys just vanished. There they are. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can spawn a custom AI squad that will patrol using UPS, also known as the Urban Patrol script. We're going to start off by building a little scenario. We're going to set this on the contact platform. Then we're going to collapse this. Then we're going to go to NATO, Woodland, and then Men, and then choose an unarmed rifleman. I'm going to place him right about there. Then we're going to right click him, and then we're going to go down to edit loadout. And I have a loadout I set up for this, so we're going to choose this guy, and this is our loadout. Alright, that's it for the player. Next, we're going to go in front of the player here, and we're going to choose a trigger without a size. We're going to place that right about here. And we're going to double click and edit the trigger. We're going to make this a rectangle, and then we're going to give it a size of 1, 1, and then 2. And then on activation, we're going to set this as any player present, and this is going to be an area trigger. And that's all we're going to do with the trigger for now, so let's just close that. And then we're going to rotate the trigger a little bit, move it to closer to this generator, and that's it for that. Alright, next we go to F1 and to props, and then in the search bar we're going to type in cone, and that'll bring up a road cone. I'm going to place a road cone at the corners of this trigger, and that'll give me an idea where this trigger is at. Next, we're going to save our scenario by going to the save icon, and we're going to put this on Livonia, and we're going to name this spawn UPS, and then save. So now that our mission is saved, what I'm going to do is give you guys a code, and this code is going to go into the activation box of the trigger, but we're going to do this code outside of the game in a notepad document. Alright, you should have a notepad document opened up and your cursor blinking at the top. Once you have that set up, just hit enter so you're one line down, and I'm going to give you a code. Underscore squad 1 space equals space left square bracket get marker pause is one word, and then the pause is capital P, space quote mark end quote comma space op4, then comma, and then press enter. Left square bracket quote end quote comma quote end quote 2 square right brackets, then space call, then space BIS in capital letters, underscore FNC in small letters, underscore spawn group. The group in spawn group is capital G, and then semicolon. Press enter, and you're going to put left curved bracket, left square bracket, leader, space, underscore squad 1, comma, space, quote, mark 1, end quote, right square bracket, right curved bracket, space, EXEC VM, VM is capitalized, space, quote, UPS dot SQF, end quote, and then semicolon. Alright, that's the code. Let's review this code real quick. Squad 1 is going to be a group of enemies that are going to spawn, and when they spawn they're going to get the marker position of mark, and then spawn at mark. The enemy is going to be from the op4 faction. Inside these brackets here we have to put class names. Then the code is going to call the this function spawn group, which then in the next line, the leader of squad 1, once they spawn at mark, the marker is named mark, then they're going to move and patrol mark 1 using the Urban Patrol script. So now that we have that code, what we're going to do next is go back in game, and we're going to create 2 markers, one named Mark and one named Mark 1, and then we're going to put down an enemy squad and get their class names. All right, we're going to zoom out and we're going to go over here and we're going to go to markers. So F6, then markers, and go to the icons, and we're going to choose a flag, and we're going to scroll in, and what we're going to do is we're going to place a marker right in front of this building, and we're going to edit the marker, and we're going to name this marker Mark, and then hit OK. All right, so this marker is going to be where the enemy squad is going to spawn. Next, we're going to go to area markers, and we're going to choose a rectangle. Now you want to choose a rectangle over a circle because with the UPS script they use the square bounds of that marker, whereas with the circle they don't go all the way to the edges, so it's just has to do with functionality. Alright, so we're going to just place the marker right here. We're going to rotate it so it's kind of square with the area, and then we're going to close it up a little bit so it's only within this area. Alright, so now that we have that established, we're going to edit this marker and name it Mark 1, and then hit OK. The AI is going to spawn at this marker, and then we're going to patrol this marker. Next, we're going to go to F2 and then to O4. We're going to collapse this. Actually, we're going to go to contact platform, and we're going to put down a Spetsnaz recon team down. We're going to place them right here, and since they're highlighted already, we're going to right click one of them, and then we're going to go down to where it says log, and then go to where it says log classes to clipboard, and just click that. Once the dialog box disappears, that means you have logged the class names. Now before we move on to our next step, make sure you guys understand what class names are. So if we go to this soldier, you could see the black box that comes up with words in it. So the top line says Recon Team Leader. That's like the face name of that unit, of this unit. And then the class name is underneath that. So the class name is O_R_Recon_TL_F. All right, so we have the class names. Let's go back to our code and add the class names to the script. All right, back in the code, you're going to go to this box here in between these two brackets and highlight it just like I did here, and then press Control V, and that'll paste the class names into the brackets. What we need to do now is we have to add quotes. So put your cursor before each class name and press quote, 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 and then after quote, 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 and quote, and then go back to the top and put a comma, 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 and no comma at the last one. Then what you do is go up here, press backspace so it brings up the code, and that's it. All right, so once you have that, just highlight all this, press Control C, and then we're going to go back in game and add this code to the trigger. All right, back in the game, I'm going to scroll down a little bit, highlight these guys and delete them. And then we're going to go over by the trigger and we're going to edit the trigger. So double click the trigger, and then in the on activation box, make sure your cursor is blinking, and then press Control V, which will paste the code. On your activation, it should be set any player present. It won't be repeatable, and that's all you need to do. Just hit OK. We will save our mission now. And the next thing we need to do now, we need to actually put the UPS script inside the mission folder. So to do that, we're going to go to the top left where it says scenario, and then down to where it says open scenario folder. Click that, and your scenario folder should open up. What we're going to do is we're going to put the UPS script into this folder here. So I have another scenario that has the UPS script. I'm going to copy it, press Control C, and paste it in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to zip the script up, link it in the description of the video for download, and once you download it and unzip the script, you're going to take the ups.sqf as you see here and put it inside your mission folder just like I did here. Once you have that, that's all we need to do. Then we just go back in game and we'll test out the scenario. Alright, so what we do now is just walk through the trigger, and you're not going to notice anything. So let's go to spectator, and you could already see the icons of the squad that spawned. AI spawned at the marker, and automatically they're going to patrol. This is the leader, as the squad follows the leader. And what they do is they'll move to like a location, and then they'll stop for like 10 to 35 seconds. That's kind of like a check that they do. Now here's a question for you that one of you might ask. How do we do multiple patrolling squads? Alright, so here's how we do this. To do multiple patrolling squads, we go back to the map, just copy what we got. So just highlight the marker for where they spawn and the marker for where they patrol. So just copy these two, press Control C, and let's move it over here, and let's rotate it. For another squad, we're going to name this Mark II, and we're going to name this Mark III. And then what we do is we go back to where the trigger's at, and we make a copy, press Control C, and then press Control V, and we'll just have the trigger right here. That's fine. Edit the trigger, and what you're going to put is squad 2, and then squad 2 right here, and then you're going to name this Mark 2 and then Mark 3. So know that Mark 2 is where they're going to spawn, Mark 3 is where they're going to patrol. So the same type of squad is going to spawn. This is going to be a second squad, and that's all you have to do. And it'll still call the script. The scripts are already in the mission folder, and once you have that, just hit OK. If you want to add some feedback so that when you go through the trigger that you know that the trigger is triggered, at the end of the line we could put a hint. So let's put a hint, and it'll say hint space quote, the enemy has spawned, end quote, and then semicolon. And all you have to do now is just save it and then play the scenario. Alright, let's go through the trigger, and let's kind of hide behind this building here, this generator. Hit escape, go to spectator. Alright, so they both spawn, and now they're moving on to patrol. That's basically a patrol. They're just checking stuff. Alright, so we got an idea where they're at, what they're doing. Let's see if we can take them out. Now with UPS, if you kill the squad leader, then the next guy in line will be in charge. I don't know where this other guy went, but I gotta go over here. Yeah, I don't know where that one guy is. There's the fourth guy is not there. These guys just vanished. There they are. got him. Alright guys, I hope you liked that. Hope you find that useful. And for more codes and scripts, take a look at this playlist.